Okay, so in the previous class we have discussed about module 3, how the jobs will work and what and all different configurations we have already discussed. Okay, fine. So today we are going to discuss about Git integration with Jenkins. So the basic introduction about this particular module is the CI/CD pipeline will be mandatorily should use any GitHub repository. There is no CI/CD pipeline exists without a source code
One second,
repository.
Mohan.
Yeah.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, okay. Fine. Thank you. Okay. Today we are going to discuss Git integration with Jenkins. So previously we have discussed already about Jenkins jobs and how to installation everything we have done, and also basic creating a jobs. Now Git integration with Jenkins. Any CI/CD pipeline without GitHub repository we can't trigger any job, right? So the no CI/CD pipeline exists without a source code repository triggering it. This module will cover installing Git, generating SH key if required, and also we can use a GitHub username and password as well for connecting, and integrating GitHub with Jenkins, configuring Git credentials, then other hands-on we are going to discuss. So in a real world example, mainly we are going to use a GitHub repository. Once the code is committed to GitHub repository, it will automatically pull the code and do the work, whatever the stages which we have configured with the Jenkins job, right? So where we are going to use completely like without any manual interaction, it should trigger the job once the code is pushed to GitHub repository by using webhooks. That one we will see in today module. So the architecture diagram of Jenkins with a Git will be like look like this. The developer will be pushing the code to GitHub repository, and immediately it's not going to trigger the job because we are going to set up the particular branch should get the data, then only it will trigger the job. So if the developer code is pushed to any hotfix branch, then it's not going to trigger the job until it is committed to the merged with the main branch. So they are going to create a pull request, and after that once it is approved, then it's going to trigger the job. So we are going to set up the webhook here, and Jenkins controller is nothing but Jenkins master, which we have installed the Jenkins. It's going to verify the webhook, and then it will clone or fetch it and check out the code from GitHub repository. So to work on the GitHub with Jenkins, first thing is we have to install Git. Git must be exit on the Jenkins controller if it is if builds run there, and if there is it is running on the agent, then agent should be install the Git. Then Git credentials, we have to add the credentials in Git, Jenkins for sh username, the private key, or else we can use sh username with password. Okay, so let me check. I have started my Jenkins, so Jenkins is running, so I am going to copy my IP address and I will start the Jenkins. So Jenkins is started here. So we have to store the credentials under manage Jenkins, and then clone repository or build automatically. So Jenkins job reference, the repository URL and credential ID build automatically refers to triggers either polling or webhooks that start a build without human clicking. So we have already seen the particular repository should trigger without manual intervention. Then we use different build triggers. We have build triggers different here, this one, but in the real time we are not going to use all of them regularly. Mainly we use GitHub trigger Git SCM polling, or then we are going to use a poll SCM as well. But build periodically we are not going to use much, and build after other jobs are this one we are going to use based upon the requirement. Like we are going to use the same script and all for each and every environment, like development, staging, and production. Then we use these kind of triggers. Today we are going to discuss about Polysem and GitHub hook trigger. That is a webhook. So Git polling. So Git polling is nothing but Polysem. So Polysem we already discussed. If you want to trigger the job for every 5 minutes or every minute, but it should be triggered only when the code is updated. If the code is updated, then only it will trigger the job. So for example, if you give one here, so I'm going to exact. So it will be run at Tuesday 21 2:53 a.m. universal time, and it is going to again execute at 22 2:53 a.m. 2 o'clock it is going to execute. Based upon our requirement, we are going to update the cron job syntax. If you give like this, it will check for every 1 minute in the code whether the code is updated or not for this particular repository, and this particular branch. Then only it will trigger the job. Okay. Next, this one we have already discussed. That's why I am not explaining. The previous videos you can see how we can set up it. For every 5 minutes means we can give h bar 5. If you give h bar 5, it will check the code for every 5 minutes. If it is there, then it's going to trigger. Otherwise, it's not going to trigger. This particular time it is showing is here. This particular Jenkins installation in the different time zone. That's why it is showing 12:53 p.m. If you check here, the time of my job is different. My Jenkins is different. That's why it is showing different time zone. Next is GitHub Webhooks. This is the very important. We are going to discuss today GitHub Webhooks only. The hands-on. GitHub pushes an event to Jenkins. The instant commit lands. So the instant commit is happened with the GitHub repository. Immediately it's going to trigger the job for more efficient and near instant compared to polling. So if you use a polling, it's going to take time to update, and also it will wait for the API to connect. But here in the webhooks, immediately it's going to trigger when the code is committed to that particular repository. This is the enterprise standard trigger mechanism today. So this is the main enterprise standard where we are going to use in the many projects we use webhooks only. So how to configure this one? We have to go to the GitHub repository first. Let me log into my GitHub repository. So I have multiple codes. So I'm going to trigger. So this one, just I will for Git integration, I'm going to use the AWS multi-type Terraform project. So this one, what we have to do? So go to your repository, and then we have to click on the settings. In the top repository menu, you can see settings button, then webhooks from the left. So we are going to see here webhooks. Click on webhooks, and then we have to fill these particular details. Payload URL. So payload URL should be this particular URL. Add webhooks. Here you can see I have given the example for you to understand. So the URL should be followed strictly by GitHub webhook. After the URL, whatever the URL you have given, So URL should be like this, and then we have to provide the this particular GitHub webhook slash. This is the URL should be there, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, here add webhook. We have to click on add webhook here. Then we have to provide the payload URL of my server. So it can be anything. So now I am using for Jenkins. That's why I have given my Jenkins URL. Content type application slash JSON. Secret, it is not a mandatory, it is a optional, but in real time we are going to use a secrets. Just push the event. So which event would you like to trigger this webhook? So if you want to send me everything, so if for example you are going to create a branch, you are going to do some changes, then also you want to trigger, then you can use send me everything, but I am going to use the only just the push event. So we will deliver events detail when this hook is triggered. So I am going to click on add webhook. Now it is done. Okay. Now what we have to see whether it is working or not. This hook has never been triggered as of now. What we have to do, I am going to create a new job. Click on new item, Terraform webhook. Okay, freestyle, click on freestyle, then click on OK. Now I'm not going to select anything, just I will give GitHub repository URL. I'll go here, code. You can take anything. Here also fine, this is also fine. So URL, okay. This one we have to provide. .git is should not be there. Okay. Once we give this URL, credentials for GitHub I have given, and master branch. So here I have main branch only. There is no master. So I am going to use main. Now I am going to use GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling. Then I'll click on apply, save. Okay. Now it will be there like this. What I am going to do is I'll go to my project which is already present here. This one. Code dot. I will use visual code here for better visualization. Hope you can see fine. Now I am going to terminal. Git status. There is no changes or nothing to trigger as of now. But I am going to add something. I'll just open my readme file. And I will update the changes if required. Something I want to change. So now I am going to use git add dot git commit -m. Now git push origin main. So now it's going to push the changes to GitHub repository. Here if you come back and if you see the latest commits will be there, this one. And then if you go back to Jenkins, here you can see immediately it is triggered. Just now it is triggered. console output. Just I have not given much, right? It is cloning the remote Git repository. Commit messages, whatever the message I have given. Like that, it's going to trigger the job and it will show. It is a basic, the first step it's going to take. If you add multiple steps, then it will continue further. But for this particular job, I have given only trigger the job as a stage. That is how we can configure GitHub to Jenkins. And then we are going to see same steps I have provided here. We can use the username password as well, and also we can use sh key as well. So if you want to configure with the sh key, then we have to use install git on your Jenkins ec2 instance. So let me check my Jenkins ec2 instance, this one, git status, sorry, git version git is installed. Now what we have to do is generate an sh key as the Jenkins user. We have to generate it. So I have not added here this one, section 6.2, because I don't want to use sh key and all. So I have directly used my username and password. So if you want to use a sh key, then you can directly go to here and you can add the sh key for the Jenkins user. Cat password. So Jenkins user is already there. So now we have to generate the sh key for Jenkins user. So we have to run the command. So already Jenkins is created. We have to sudo -u Jenkins sudo su Jenkins. Okay, it is unable to log in as a root user, like sudo permissions for Jenkins. So directly we can use sh key -keygen -t. So we have to run the particular key we have to provide. This one is mandatory. No need to change anything. -c. Then we have to provide the this particular URL. Enter a file in which to save the key. So you can use the default one. So it is already created. You can see the key random image, it is created. You can see in the particular path cat dot sh id. So this is the key. You can see the key is generated. So if you ls ltr dot sh, so this is the keys which we have created. Cat dot sh id, this particular key it is created. Now what we have to do, sh key with a private key. Private key is this one only. So we have to take this particular private key, cat. When we use this one cat, and the user, the content will be there, that one we have to copy, and id will be github sh key. Then we have to add it. So we have to go to manage Jenkins, or else we can use directly here itself. If you go to Terraform webhook, configure, you can add from here as well, global, or else you can directly go here, manage Jenkins, credentials. So this is a combination. I'm explaining both, like credentials and Git integration with Jenkins. So add credentials. You can use username with password. We have already discussed multiple times. But now I'm using sh username with private key. Click on next. ID, GitHub sh key. So what we have to provide? Find sh username with private key and paste the private key. We have to provide the username, ID. One second. So we have to provide here. Enter new secret key below. So you have to copy all the key from here to here and paste it. Username is what username I have given, root. I'll provide. Now create. So this one it will work. So I have added both the credentials. One is with the sh key and private key, sh username and private key, and another is username and password. So once it is done, then same as all the steps will be same. We have to select the credentials here. If you go back, configure, and here instead of that, I can select the credentials as this one and apply, save. Now I'll run manually to check it whether it will work or not. The credential section only. So it is working fine. So console output, it is running as usual. Git version is checking, and then it is running all the commands as per process. So both the credentials section is working fine. One is with the username and another one is with the sh credentials. So like that we can configure it, and then we can use set up the webhooks, add webhook payload, payload URL is should be. So this is very important. If you miss something, then it will not run the auto triggers. So build triggers, it won't work. So if you want to check it, then you can use this one, confirm Jenkins that build. So if you want to check it, curl -i, you can run this particular command. You can go here, and instead of that URL, take this one. So if you want to validate it, you can run this particular command. Then it will method not allowed be showing, but it is working fine. Normally it should display the what and all details it required. So it is instance identity, everything it is showing fine. Expected output, HTTP response, often 403 for bare gate, which is normal. So I'm getting 403 here only, 405, not 403. So actual post payload, it is what triggered the build. 403 is on manual curl, just means it is reachable and rejecting unauthenticated malformed request. So I'm getting 405 5. Let me check if it is something issue or we can ignore it. So currently the trigger is working fine, but still I am getting 405 in the URL. The web server received the understood your request URL but refuses to use HTTP method you selected, sending a post instead of get. So it is working fine, but it is sending the post instead of get. That's why it is not working in the curl. Okay, that is how we can add the GitHub webhooks and also adding the credentials for GitHub by using SH key. So sample project is nothing but whatever the project which we are going to use, just a simple freestyle job you can create how I have created, and then you can trigger the job by using webhooks, and it is check out the code, nothing will run after that. So further we are going to use the Maven as a build tool we use, that one we'll see. So the best practices with the webhooks, prefer webhooks over polling in any environment where Jenkins is reachable from GitHub. So in the real time, most of the time you have to use the webhooks only. Don't use poll SCM or build periodically, because that will take time to get the update. But when we use the webhooks, it will automatically take the updates from the GitHub repository and it will trigger the job very faster. GitHub Enterprise is reachable from Jenkins, faster feedback, less resource waste. That's why we use GitHub Webhooks. Use reposcope deploy keys, read only where possible. Instead of personal account SS key for CA automation, limits blast radius if the key leaks. So in the real time, we are going to use the SH key, that is will be like repository scoped deployment keys we are going to use instead of using personal. Rotate SH keys and pads periodically. Treat them exactly like passwords. So the SH key which we have used just now, so I have added, but this one should be rotate regularly because we should not store the passwords for the long time. How we do in the real time also, we are going to change the passwords regularly. The same like that we have to change the SH key as well. That is one of the main practice which we should follow for a security purpose. Okay. Next is never commit .pem or private key files into any Git repository, including this one's own configuration repo. So in the GitHub repository, we should not commit any password files, any protected files, or anything which it's going to use for the access purpose. We should not push them because it will be very confidential. Use a dedicated service account for GitHub integration in the larger teams rather than trying automation in any individual employee's personal account. So in the real time, we use actually service accounts. We'll be having the different accounts for the particular Jenkins and all. So common mistakes, that's what I have explained. GitHub webhook, we should use slashes and GitHub webhook at the end of the URL, payload URL. So that is very important, otherwise it won't work. So leaving PolSCM configured and enabling the webhook simultaneously, causing the redundancies. So if you use both PolSCM and also webhooks, then it will affect the issue and it's not going to work simultaneously. So that's why we have to use any one of these. So if you go to the build triggers, any one you should use. You should not use multiple here. Forgetting to open Jenkins port to the internet. When using webhooks with on-prem Jenkins, webhook requires GitHub to reach Jenkins. So this is like port enabling. We should be enable the port to make it work properly without any issues. So troubleshooting, if there is any issues like host key verification failed, then we have to validate them. And if there is any polling works but it is slow, then it will be shorten the polling schedule by using like where we can schedule it. These are the main interview questions which I have prepared. You can go through them. I'll provide you. So in the summary, today we have discussed GitHub integration with a Jenkins. So via different credentials we have discussed SH user access key, sorry SH user and private key, and next is username with password we have discussed. So and also build triggers how it is going to automatically trigger the jobs we have discussed. You have configured a real GitHub repository to trigger a Jenkins build within seconds of push. So it will work within the seconds whenever the push has happened. The next module is Maven integration with Jenkins. So along with the GitHub, we are going to use a Maven now. So most enterprise Java applications are built using Apache Maven, a built automation and a dependency management tool. This module covers installing Maven, configuring it inside Jenkins as a global tool, understanding pom.xml, then Maven's build lifecycle goals and artifacts, and building a real Java project. So we are going to discuss about how Maven will work with the Jenkins. So when it comes to Maven, we have already discussed about Maven in the two different classes. So you can go through the previous videos before coming to the Jenkins with integration with Maven. That's why I have explained very well about how Maven will work. What is the pom.xml file? Project object model, where we use for the central configuration file, and we use a different plugins within pom.xml file. So Maven build lifecycle, we are going to use a different life cycles within the Maven. So this one you can see the goals: validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and deploy. These are the different goals which we are going to use with the Jenkins. We have already discussed how we can use and which one to use to build a application. So running any phase automatically runs every phase before it. So if you use validate, then it will run only validate. If you use compile, then it will run compile and validate. If you use test, then it will do validate, compile and test. Same like that. If you use deploy, then it will run all the six before, then it will go for the deploy. So goal is a single specific task. The example above given, and phases are bound to goals. When you run the test phase, Maven actually executes the surefire test goal behind the scenes. So in the backend, it's going to run this particular goal surefire test when we use mvn goal mvn test. Next is artifacts. The output of a Maven build typically a .jar file. So jar or var if you use web application, var if you use a enterprise application, then jar. So it is going to generate the artifacts. Artifacts are identified by group ID, that is artifact ID, group ID, then artifact ID, then version. GAV we call it. So the same coordinate system used to reference dependencies. Configuring Maven as a Jenkins global tool. So this is very important. Inside the Maven, inside the Jenkins, we are going to configure Maven. So rather than hard coding a Maven installation path into every job, Jenkins lets you define a named Maven installation once and reference it by naming in any job or Jenkins file. So we have to install it, manage Jenkins tools, Maven installation. If you go here, click on manage Jenkins tools. If you search for Maven, here you can see Maven configuration. This is the Maven installation. So as of now, I have not installed Maven. Click on Maven installation. Here we have to install the Maven. Let me show you. So before going to install here, install Java and Maven on your Jenkins EC2 instance. So this is important. So first thing is Java hyphen version. Java is installed. MVN hyphen version. Maven also installed. Now, so both the Java and Maven installed. If you don't know how to install, you can go through my Maven class, right? So you can install the Maven. Then this step I have given install automatically. So in Jenkins, Maven Jenkins, we have to set up the add Maven. Name should be Maven 3.9. Uncheck install automatically. Set Maven home to opt/Maven. But here I have to check the Maven home directory. This is the Maven home directory. Same one I am going to copy here. Click on this one, Maven home. Copy this one. Name should be Maven 3.9, 3.9. Here they have used 3.9. That's why they have provided 3.9.16. So I have given 3.9.16 here. Remove OPT. So name Maven 3.9.16 and Maven home I have given. This is how we can install, setup, click on apply, save, create a new freestyle job. So before going to create it, I want to show you. So if not configured properly, the Maven is not configured. So how it's going to work? Let's see. I will cancel this for now. Apply, save. So I will CICD. So I'm going to create a new job here. Maven demo freestyle. Okay. Here I'm going to use git URL Maven web application code copy URL paste here. I'll use this one. Here in the build step, we are using a Maven as a build tool. That's why build tool is nothing but build step only we have to use. Here I'm going to use invoke top level Maven targets. So this one goal. So the particular goal we have to provide here. So once you can see here, create new freestyle job, Maven demo build. Then you can use a invoke top level Maven targets, Maven version 3.9. Then goals clean MVN. MVN is not required here. Directly you can give clean package advanced. If you give advanced, then it will ask for the details but not required. Click on apply, save. Click on build now. So if you click on this one, the build is failed. Why it is failed? Verifying host key using known host file. You are using git host key verification configuration. Okay, this one is failing. No such file directory. So update Jenkins file, commit message. Cannot run program MVN. Why? So this is failing because the build step itself it is failing. Why? We know already. That's why I have removed this one to check it. What is the issue we are going to get it. So now you can check it. Maven. Click on Maven here. Go to this one. OPT Maven. So I will give this one and name 3.16. Then apply, save. This particular path should be whatever wherever you have installed that particular path we have to provide. Now I am going to click on build now. If you open this one, oh sorry, demo I have given. It should be where CACD. Click on build now. So it is building. You can see built-in node. We have not configured any build, right? That's why it is showing. It is done. Now you can go here. Check once again it is failed. What is the root cause? Console output. Again, it is failing. What is the issue? In directory workspace Maven demo execute fail. Cannot run program MVN. So MVN is there, but still it is failing. Command execution failed. MVN clean package. So let's see what is the issue. You can go here. So install automatically or provide the absolute path in local Maven installation. So it is not running. Even I have installed it, it is throwing the error because of the installation part only. So let me go back. So I will use, instead of providing the path, I will go here, edit, add Maven, click on install automatically. So I'll remove this, add Maven. So apply, save. Now I'll go back to the job. So I have to configuration check once again. What exactly happened? Maven version. You can see here 3.9.16 and goal clean package. Now click on apply, save, build now. Now it is running fine. You can see the Maven goals is running. So because the version is not matching, that's why it is throwing error. Previously I was unable to select the version as well. Now I have used to here. Previously I have used the version by default by manually. Now I have given just a 3.9.16 as a name and version I have selected install from Apache. By default it's going to install it. I didn't given any path. That's how you can install the Maven. So build is success. Now you can see. Now if you check, the var file will be generated and stored inside the server where we have executed the code. cd var lib Jenkins workspace. Inside the workspace only every job will be created here. You can see all the jobs whatever I have created till now. You can see here, and inside the what I have given this one Maven demo. Inside the demo, it's going to download all the source code whatever you have there. And same, if you to go inside the target, it is generated a war file. This is how you can use Maven with a Jenkins. Same how we do in the manually, we are going to integrate with the Jenkins one by one. Now Git is done. Next Maven is done. Okay, that is about integrating Jenkins with Maven. Now if you see here, while click on new item, it is showing only pipeline freestyle, multi-configuration folder, multi-branch pipeline and organization folder. Okay. So instead of only these particular job types, I want to show you one more thing. So go to plugins. here I will use, see this just for 1 week only we got multiple updates which we can upgrade the pipelines. As of now, I don't want to update. So available plugins, I will go Maven. So this one you can see Maven integration. This plugin provides a deep integration between Jenkins and Maven. So we are already integrating uh, Maven with the Jenkins, but this particular plugin we are going to use for the advanced deep integration between the Jenkins and Maven, and it adds the support for automatic triggers between projects depending on the snapshot. So I will try to explain it. Click on install. So it will install. Once we install it, if you go here, the job types, it will show different. Another one, it will come. Let's see. As of now, it is not showing anything. So now restart Jenkins when installation is complete and no jobs are running. So I will click on the same. So it will restart. Safe restart. Builds on agents can usually continue. So it will be restarting safely. Meanwhile, so what is the common mistakes which we do with the Maven integration with Jenkins? Installing only JRE, not JDK. So without JDK, we can't use JRE. Maven needs the compiler. So JavaC, which only ships with the full JDK. So if you install only JRE, then it won't work. So I have installed the JDK as well. If you check Java-version, so JDK is installed, then only we can use Maven with Jenkins. Forgetting to configure Jenkins global tool entry, then getting mvn command not found inside the pipeline. So same we have faced previously. So if you don't configure the Maven in the global tool, then we are going to get the Maven command not found issues. Running mvn install in CI when mvn package is sufficient. Install writes into the local repository unnecessarily for CI agent. That's often ephemeral. So when you use install instead of the package, so what it's going to do, we already discussed right in the Maven class. When you use a package, it will just download the package, required packages. But if you use install, it's going to store in the local. So local repository, we don't want anything. So that's why you don't need to use install instead of package. So if you use install, it will take a lot of time. After the package also, it's going to running the command install. That's why. Not pinning plugins version inside pom.xml file, causing worked yesterday, broken today. So in the pom.xml file, you have to mention the plugin versions to avoid the failures in future. So these are very common mistakes which we have to resolve. So troubleshooting. So mvn command not found, we have already seen. We have to configure in the Maven global tool configuration. We have to configure it. Then build failure, compilation error, actual code issue or wrong Java version resolved. So if something has failed with a compilation error, then we have to check the Java version with a particular server where we have installed Jenkins. The version should be presenting fine. Test fails only in Jenkins, pass locally. Different environment. So if the test cases is failing, then we have to check the make tests environment dependent. Check for hidden local only dependencies. So if there is any dependencies, we have to check for that. So these are the main troubleshooting we have to find out if there is any issues. Unsupported class file major version. So JDK or Maven version mismatch with that project expects. So if the project is expecting the particular JDK version or Maven version, if it is not matching, then we are going to face the issue as unsupported class file. So align the Jenkins global tool Java Maven versions with that declared on the pom.xml. If pom.xml is declared the particular Java or Maven version, then we have to use the same versions. Otherwise, we are going to face the issue. Okay. Now Jenkins is restarted. So I'm going to show you the plugin. Click on this. So plugin is already installed. Now I'm going to click on new item. When we click on new item, you can see here Maven project. Previously it was not showing. Only pipeline freestyle multi configuration was there. Maven project was not there. Now I am going to check it. Maven 2. So this one we can use for only Maven projects. If you use any other build tools, then it won't work. Only for Maven, build a Maven project. Jenkins takes advantage of your POM files and drastically reduces the configuration. The configuration will be easy when you use Maven type here. See here, triggers. So build whenever a snapshot dependency is built, scheduled build when some upstream has no successful builds. So this kind of we can use triggers here. The extra trigger will come whenever the snapshot is dependency is built. It means the pom.xml file whenever there is a some snapshot is created, that is a versions, then it will automatically trigger the job. The next is pre-build step. You can see here. Previously build step was there, but here pre-build step are there instead of build. Build is it is all by default we are going to get the POM because this is only for Maven. That's why we are getting POM as a build by default. If you want any pre-build steps, then you can see here, you can run the commands. So you can directly provide the goals. So this is the Maven type which we can use. So the main advantage of is this one is it is specially built for Maven projects. So no other type of projects we can't use this particular plugin. So I will use same, nothing changes. It's going to trigger. Click on build now. So these are one of the important you should know about the plugin. So in interviews you will get the questions what type of plugins you have used. You can mention this one as well, Maven integration. See, this is running fine. Like that we can use some Maven integration plugin. So interview questions mainly you are going to get like what is the Maven build life cycle, what is the difference between install and ME and deploy, goal versus a phase. These kind of commands you are going to get. So you should know Maven very well, at least basics, before going to integrate Jenkins with Maven. So failed to execute. Source option 6 is no longer supported. Use 8 or later. See, it is a coding error. Failed to execute gold. Default compile on project my app application. Compilation failure. So these kind of errors we regularly will get. We have to mainly focus on troubleshooting. The first thing is why the error is getting. What is the issue in the backend? Then only we have to try to resolve the issue. Update via Maven properties. So we have to update it. Please mention target version to at least 8 they have given. So the version it is showing source option 6 is no longer supported. That's why we have to update to 8. If you go here pom.xml file, properties, you can directly edit this file here, but in real time make sure to edit in command line only. Properties, Maven compiler, source target. But it is not there anywhere. The version 6 it is mentioned. Maven compiler plugin 3.8 version. It is showing here, but we have to use this one. Let's see commit changes. I'll go here. So it is failing at the end, so it will take time. Console output. So it is success now. So the version is not matching, that's why it was throwing error. Now it is fine, running fine. So what changes I have done? If I go here, compiler. So it is explicitly declaring the Maven compiler plugin. So source and target should be required. I have added as a 8. That's it. So that is how you can use a Maven integration plugin. So that's it about Maven integrated with a Jenkins. So the next is Jenkins plugins. So Jenkins plugin is very important. Previously I have already explained how it's going to use, and the main important plugins we will discuss in the short time today. Jenkins core intentionally minimal. Nearly everything you associate with a Jenkins, like it can be Git, pipeline, Docker integration, Slack, actual whatever it is there with the Jenkins integration with the different tools we use with the plugins only. This module will be covering the plugin manager, the most important plugin used throughout this course we are going to see. So this is the architecture diagram where we use plugin manager. In the manage Jenkins plugins, it will be having the three different sections. One is available, installed, and updates. So available will be whichever you have not installed, it will be available in the available section. Whichever you have installed, it will be there in the installed section. Whichever you have installed and it is available for the updates, then it will be stored in the update section. So plugin manager, you can see in the manage Jenkins plugin section. This is the one which we have already installed. Just now we have installed the Maven integration plugin. Same, you can go here, plugin section. This is the one. So popular plugins. So the most popular plugins you can use Git pipeline, Blue Ocean, then Docker pipeline, SonarQube scanner, Maven integration. So we have discussed now Maven integration. Then Slack notification, email extension, SH agent, credential binding. These are all the plugins which we regularly use, and most important plugins, not regularly use, but very important plugins. If you go to available plugins, you can see Docker. So Docker Commons, Docker pipeline. So build and use Docker containers from pipeline. Then you use this one. If you use provision Jenkins agent on demand as Docker containers, runs builds on isolated disposable environments. So this will be like different Docker pipeline plugins will be there for different purpose. And if you use a Slack notification, so Slack is to get the alerts or notification. Then we use Slack, integrate Jenkins with Slack, allows publishing build statuses, messages and files to Slack channels. Then we use Slack notification. Git we have already used, and we have used Maven integration, and SonarQube we are going to use in the upcoming classes. I'm not going to install now. While doing that integrations, we install it. So you can see Git plugin is it provides the option Git option under source code management repository. So the Git is by default it will install while we installing the Jenkins itself. So the recommended plugins, it will be one of the important Git plugin. Next is pipeline plugin, actually a suite of plugins bundled together. Pipeline Groovy, pipeline stage view, pipeline basic steps that together provide the entire Jenkins pipeline capability, which we are going to see in the upcoming module. If you go here, plugin, sorry, pipeline, see pipeline. REST API pipeline, stage view, Docker pipeline. There are multiple will be there which we can see in the pipeline module. The blue ocean, a separate, more modern UI for visualizing pipeline runs as a clear left to right flows of stages with inline log viewing per stage. So blue ocean is a where we can see the Jenkins dashboard with the updated version of UI. Blue ocean aggregator. We can see user interface very updated modern version. Genuinely used for quickly spotting which stage failed on the complex pipeline. The classic stage view remains fully functional without it. So normally it will work properly, but if you want to find out very like different view and you want to find out uh, failed stages very quickly, then we use blue ocean UI. Docker pipeline plugin to integrate Docker with Jenkins provides Docker build with Docker registry, Docker image, these pipeline steps. Then we use Docker pipeline plugin. Sonar Cube scan will be integrated with the Sonar Cube. We use a Sonar Cube plugin. Then Maven integration. It is already used global tool configuration entry for Maven installation and dedicated Maven job type. So Maven job type which we have used now. Then SH plugin or SH agent plugin. Two related but distinct plugins. SH agent provides a SH agent, that is a credentials pipeline wrapper used for SH based deployment steps. So deployment steps we are going to use a SH agent. This plugin allows you to provide SH credentials to build via SH agent in Jenkins. So if you want to build SH agent, then you use SH agent plugin. And the broader SH plugin, publish over SH, provides additional build steps for running remote commands. So you want to connect from one server to another server. So your Jenkins is installed in this particular server and you want to deploy into different server, then we are going to use a SH plugin to configure it in the freestyle jobs. Transferring files over SH from freestyle jobs, then we use SH plugin. So this is a very important. You should make a note of it and you should know the different plugins and what is the use of that plugins. Next is credentials plugin. It provides a encrypted secret storage on the credentials UI. That is a credential binding provides a with credential. In the pipeline we are going to use the this particular section when we use a credential binding plugin. So installing plugin from the UI where you can directly go to the you can go to where plugin installation Handson lab. I will explain. So I will just install any one of the plugin for now. So I will install sh agent. So for now I will install only sh agent. Click on install. So this is just install and after that you can do the changes. You can go back to here install plugins and if you check here sh agent, see just now it is installed. That's why it is showing here. If you go again available plugins and search for it, it won't available because we have already installed. So whatever the plugin, first thing is you have to search for it in the available plugins. If it is not available, then you have to look in the installed plugins. Maybe it is already available. It is already installed. If it is not available in the both the section, then you have to look for the why it is not available and maybe the name of the plugins is different rather than you are searching. So once you install it, click on install without restart, then you can check the installation the particular plugins whether installed or not. Open manage Jenkins system and confirm new configuration. So when you use any this particular plugins, you have to check the system and confirm new configuration section have appeared for Sonar Cube servers and email notification. For these and all we have to check in the system configurations because once we install it, some configurations required for that particular plugins. Some of them not required, but some plugins require the system configurations need to be updated here. So this is the system configurations where we provide see Maven project configuration. So global Maven OPTs you want to provide, you can provide here. And then if you install Sonar Cube, then it will come here. After that, you have to update it. Let me install Sonar Cube. Available plugins. Sonar Cube. This one. Sonar Cube Scanner. Install. If you select multiple plugins at a time, it will take time to complete it. But if you use one or two, it will complete within very quick time. So now you can go back to the top of the page. If you search system Sonar, you can see here Sonar Cube installation. Add Sonar. You can provide here server URL where you have installed your Sonar Cube. That URL you have to provide name, server authentication total token. This and all we are going to discuss with the Sonar Cube integration module. That is how you can install it. And blue ocean link, usually in the left side bar after installation you can see the blue ocean. So blue ocean is a modern UI. You can go here. That is also I will explain, because we are not going to use blue ocean, but just I will install and I will show you how it look like. Some companies will use blue ocean only for better look visualization purpose. See, it is installing a lot of plugins, so it will take a lot of time to install because it is having a lot of dependencies. Common API for blue ocean, PubSub, pipeline SCM, web for blue ocean, everything, because complete Jenkins UI it's going to change it. Okay. So install plugins will be list, so all 6 plugins active with no red. So once it is done, it will be showing. If it is any failed, then it will show in the red color. So the best practices with the Jenkins plugins, only install plugins you actually need. If you don't need, no need to install. Every additional plugin is additional attack surface and additional upgrade or compatibility burden. So it will take, the data will be taking storage and it will affect the your Jenkins server. Pin plugin versions in larger managed versions, managed environments via configuration as a code. Or you can use a document plugin list rather than always auto upgrading. So if you want to maintain the versions, you can make a pin of it and also you can note of it. Regularly check the manage Jenkins updates. As I already checked, right? So I will do the restart. So already checked, right? In the updates, we have to check it, because every 1 week, every 2 days, it's going to get the different version of our plugins. To make sure of it working properly, we have to update them if required. If not required the latest version for our application deployment, then no need to upgrade the plugins. Test plugins update in non-production Jenkins instance before rolling out to a production controller. This is very important. So you are updating your plugins. Make sure them to test in the non-production. They were staging Jenkins servers. You have to test it before going to the production. Otherwise, it will affect. If you something happened, then you are going to lose the data. Prefer well-maintained, widely used plugins. So you have to you maintain the well-maintained plugins. High install count. You can check the recent updates. These kind of plugins only you have to check it and you have to install them. Common mistakes, mainly the common mistakes will be like installing multiple plugins at a time. The dozens of plugins just in case during initial setup, bloating the instance or increasing upgrade risk unnecessarily. If you install a lot of plugins, then it will affect because of the upgrading task and all. Okay. Next is updating all plugins to latest blindly right before a critical release window, risking. So updating all the plugins to latest blindly, it will not work. You have to make sure whether it is required or not, and if there is any latest release is available or not. So make sure to check all the things before going to update the plugins. Not restarting Jenkins when plugin explicitly requires it, leading to confusing partial or inconsistent behavior. So when you install some plugins, you have to restart it to work properly. Otherwise, it will like half-baked kind of the plugin, it won't work properly. Forgetting the forgetting that some plugins like Docker pipeline still requires the underlying tool like Docker itself to be installed on the agent. So some of the plugins, any plugin if you take Git, Maven, Docker, those plugins should be require the same application or same tool should be installed in the Jenkins controller. Otherwise, it won't work. Installing the Jenkins plugin alone doesn't install Docker. That's why you have to install Docker in your server itself. Then you have to use a Docker plugin in Jenkins. Otherwise, it won't work. Troubleshooting. Plugin install fails with a network or timeout error. Then it will cause the issue. Jenkins can't reach the internet. Configure proxy settings under plugins. Then you can download and upload this particular file. You can get from the Jenkins website and you can upload it. Plugin shows a dependency error during install. Then it will be requiring some dependency plugin. It is not installed. Then you have to let Jenkins auto resolve dependencies or manually install the missing dependencies first. So something, so you can see reverse proxy setup is broken. Something it is showing. So sometimes the particular plugin is required some dependencies. At the time, what you have to do, you have to install the dependency plugin first. Then you have to go for the main plugin installation. Jenkins fails to start after plugin update. So plugin version maybe it is not working. The plugin version combination is not working properly. So at that time, check journal ctl-u Jenkins for the specific error, and then you have to check it. Then you have to check for the this particular HPI file via a plugins directory, the older version. Then you can update it. See, previously it was not showing. Now it is showing a different module and all here. If you go to all here, blue version is installed. So favorite button and all we came, and we are going to get the different version as well. I think tomorrow we'll discuss on this one blue ocean how it will work. So these are the some of the important interview questions which we can get with the Jenkins plugins related. We can go through them. Mainly the plugins questions will be what are the different plugins you have used, and what is the uh, troubleshooting part you will take when uh, plugin version is not working properly. These kind of questions you are going to get. So make sure to learn before going to attend any interviews. And also real time also you have to face some of the issues in the Jenkins plugins. Okay. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss Jenkins plugins, and then we are going to start with the Docker integration as well. That's it for today. Thank you.